Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're venturing into the Tejo wine region of Portugal. We've gathered some really interesting material for you, pulling from a focused piece on Tejo and also getting a sommelier's perspective.
Right.
Our mission here is to, well, quickly and thoroughly uncork what makes this region so distinctive for you.
Exactly. We're going to explore the layers of Tejo, looking at its pretty long history, the unique terroir that really defines it, the grapes that thrive there, the art and science of its wine production, and what the future might hold, all filtered through expert insights.
Okay, let's get right to something that really grabbed me. Did you know the Tejo River isn't just like the namesake?
Oh, yeah.
It actively shapes the very character of its wines in surprisingly fundamental ways. We're definitely going to explore that deep connection.
It's fascinating, isn't it, how the Tejo River becomes almost a third collaborator in the winemaking process there.
Absolutely. So let's journey back to the beginning, the history of winemaking in the Tejo. Turns out the roots go way, way back.
They really do. There's compelling evidence of viticulture possibly dating back to Phoenician influence even.
Wow.
And then a significant expansion during Roman times. You find things like Roman wine presses, bits of amphorae scattered around.
Yeah.
It really paints a picture of this long history with wine.
It's amazing to picture that. And it wasn't just about, enjoying a glass back then, was it? The Tejo grew into this strategically and economically vital region for Portugal.
Precisely. Its location and the river itself acted as this crucial transport link, supplying wine to Lisbon and further afield too. That river access was just central to its economic importance for the whole country, really.
So deep history, strategic importance, but how does that legacy play out today? In the modern wine world, how does tradition meet modernity in Tejo?
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting. The Tejo region has this compelling story, of tradition meeting innovation. They're not just clinging to the past. They're thoughtfully preserving local grapes, historical practices, but they're also embracing very modern techniques in the vineyards, in the cellars. It's a real synergy.
And it sounds like that synergy is actually paying off.
Yeah,
Our sources mentioned a 21st century revitalization, a clear focus on quality.
definitely. What's remarkable is this renewed dedication. We've seen significant investment in modernizing wineries and a real conscious effort to truly express the unique terroir.
Okay.
And this has led to growing recognition for Tejo wines, both, at home in Portugal and internationally.
Okay. Terroir, that sort of magical mix of climate, soil, maybe a bit of fate. What's the terroir story in the Tejo?
Well, the river's impact, it goes way beyond just trade. It acts like a natural thermostat for the Mediterranean climate there,
Ah,
helping create this crucial balance for grapes to ripen perfectly, influencing humidity levels. Plus, you've got variations in altitude, different sun exposures across the region. It's complex.
right. So the river's a big climate player. But what about the ground itself? I hear there's quite a bit of diversity in the soils.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The Tejo boasts this fascinating mosaic of soils. People often talk about three main areas: Charnica to the south, Barrow up north, and Campania right along the river. Each has its own sort of geological fingerprint.
Okay, let's dig into those. What's special about the Charnica soils?
The Charnica, south of the river, it's mostly sandy and clay sandy soils. It tends to be warmer, drier there,
Okay.
which interestingly makes it really well suited for robust red grapes. That slight water stress you get in sandy soils can concentrate tannins, give a unique rustic edge to, say, their Castellone grape that you might not find elsewhere, gives the wine structure aging potential.
Interesting, that rustic edge. That's a great detail. Now, what about the Barrow up north?
On the northern Barrow, you're looking at more clay limestone and clay soils, generally cooler, more humid than Charnica.
Right.
This combo of soil and climate makes it really versatile, good for both red and white grapes, often leads to wines with vibrant acidity and a nice complexity.
So a more balanced spot for both reds and whites. And finally, the Campania, right by the river.
The Campania, literally the riverside countryside, it's defined by alluvial soils. Super fertile, deep soils, thanks to the river dropping sediment over millennia.
Makes sense.
This kind of soil is great for growing a wide range of grapes, and it tends to produce really fresh, light, aromatic wines. Think of it like a well-fed garden.
That makes perfect sense. Fertile river soils leading to fresh, vibrant wines. It's fascinating how these distinct soil types and microclimates, Boro, Charnica, Campo, directly shape what we actually taste in the glass.
Exactly. What's really compelling is how the terroir, understood through these, let's call them sensory zones, fundamentally defines the character of Tejo wines. It influences everything, the aromas you smell, the structure, how the wine feels.
Okay, so the terroir is foundational. Now let's talk about the stars, the grapes themselves. What are some key red varieties we should know about in Tejo?
Well, for reds, Touriga Nacional is definitely a leader. It brings intense aromas, black fruits, floral notes, maybe some spice, and this elegant structure. Yeah, it's really a cornerstone for many of their high-quality reds and blends.
Terroir National, yeah, a real Portuguese icon. What other reds are important in Tejo?
Castellón is another vital one, known for its approachable, fruity character red berries, often. It's versatile, usually lighter-bodied, soft tannins. Good for drinking young, but it can develop complexity, especially from those sandy Charnica soils we mentioned. Concentrates the flavor.
Castellan, versatile, approachable. Any other noteworthy reds?
Oh, definitely. Trincadeira offers wonderful aromatic intensity, red and black fruits, elegant tannins, good acidity, makes it valuable in blends. And then there's Aragones.
Which is Tempranillo.
It's exactly what you might know as Tempranillo. It brings red fruit flavors, some spice, medium body, round tannins. Very food-friendly grape.
So a diverse palette of reds, different textures, fruits, spices. What about the white grapes of the Tejo?
For whites, Fernand-Père, sometimes called Maria Gomes, is a real hallmark of the Tejo. It's wonderfully aromatic.
How so?
Think floral notes, tropical fruit hints, a touch of spice maybe.
Yeah.
Usually medium-bodied, best enjoyed young to capture that signature aromatic profile.
For non-peers, the distinctively aromatic one, what other important whites are making waves?
Orinto is crucial, highly valued for its natural high acidity, mineral notes, bright citrus, and white fruit aromas.
Acidity is key for freshness.
Exactly. It ages well too, adds freshness to blends, but also shines on its own as a single varietal. Then you have Verdelho, another aromatic one.
Yeah.
Citrus, tropical fruit, floral hints, spice. Good acidity again. Makes for very fresh, captivating wines.
So a strong showing for aromatic, crisp whites, too. It sounds like Tejo is really embracing its native grapes.
Yeah, the role of these autochthonous, these local grapes, is absolutely fundamental to the region's identity. They express the terroir uniquely, and offer something different in the global market.
But are producers only using these traditional grapes?
Interestingly, no. There's also a spirit of experimentation. Producers are actively looking at how non-native grapes might complement the local ones, maybe cater to market trends.
Adapt to climate change, perhaps?
That too, absolutely. Adapt to climate change and just broaden the range of styles coming out of Tejo.
Makes sense balancing heritage and innovation. So once these diverse grapes are harvested, what does the actual wine production look like?
Well, the viticultural practices, how they grow the grapes, it varies quite a bit. Tailored to the subregions we talked about.
Right.
Covers everything from vine training, pruning, managing the leaf canopy, controlling yields, even selecting specific vine clones for desired traits.
Zonal selection.
Yeah, basically choosing the best offspring vines. And importantly, there's a really growing focus on sustainability. Things like efficient water use, promoting soil health, boosting biodiversity in the vineyards, cutting back on synthetics. It's becoming much more common.
And once the grapes hit the winery, what are the typical vinification methods? How did they make the wine?
Vinification in Tejo is this fascinating mix, really. Tradition and modern precision. You'll still find some using lagars.
Those open stone fermentation tanks.
Exactly. And cement vats, oak barrels. But modern techniques are widespread too. Stainless steel with temperature control, pre-fermentation maceration, soaking the skins before fermenting, careful extraction during fermentation.
Okay.
The goal seems to be balancing that authentic regional character with the precision needed for consistent, high-quality wines.
It sounds like the winemaker, the enologist, holds a pretty pivotal role in all this.
Absolutely crucial. The enologist is like the interpreter of the terroir. They translate the grapes into the final wine, making key decisions all along the way, when to harvest, how to age it. Ultimately, it's their vision and passion you taste in the bottle.
And with this variety of grapes and methods, what different styles of wine can we actually expect from Tejo?
It's a really broad spectrum. For reds, you get everything from light, fruity, easy-drinking wines right up to concentrated, complex ones that can age beautifully, showcasing both native and international grapes.
And the whites?
Whites range from crisp, fresh, and aromatic to those with more body, more structure, a distinct minerality. You'll also find refreshing, vibrant rosés, great for drinking young. And even some sparkling and fortified wines, though in smaller quantities, really shows the region's versatility.
Okay, so a really diverse lineup. Let's get specific on taste. What might we experience sensorially, starting with the whites?
Tejo whites are typically known for freshness, aromas. You might get bright citrus, Delicate floral notes, maybe more tropical fruit, sometimes subtle mineral hints. Body and acidity vary depending on the grape and how it was made.
And the reds. What aromas and flavors should we look for there?
Reds often have this core of fruitiness. Both red and black fruits are common. You might also pick up spice, sometimes subtle vegetal notes. Tannin structure and body can vary a lot, and depending on aging, you might get earthy notes or hints of oak.
And the rosés, what's the typical vibe?
KO rosés usually hit you with fresh red fruit aromas. They tend to be dry, refreshing, lively. Very appealing.
Now, I've seen labels saying IGP Tejo and DOC Tejo. Can you break down the difference for us?
Ah, yeah, that's a key distinction. IGP-TEO, that stands for Indicação Geográfica Protegida, covers a broader geographical area.
Okay.
The rules are a bit more flexible regarding grapes' production methods. These wines often aim for accessibility, emphasizing fruit, freshness, a great way to get introduced to Tejo wines.
So IGP is the wider net, more flexible. What about DOC Tejo?
DOC Tejo Denominação de Origen Controlada points to smaller, more specific subregions within the Tejo area. Here, the regulations are stricter.
How so?
They often favor traditional grapes, specify things like planting density, maximum yield, certain winemaking practices. The goal with DOC is higher quality, a clearer expression of that specific subregion's terroir, often more complex wines, maybe with more aging potential.
Gotcha.
And the DOCT was even further broken down into historical subregions like Carouge, Cartaxo, Santerre, Almaram, Tamar, Chamusca, each with its own subtle differences.
Right. IGP for broader appeal, DOC for more specific terroir-driven quality. How do these wines pair with food? Any local matches?
Oh, they pair wonderfully with Portuguese food, both local Tejo dishes and national cuisine. The crisp whites, great with river fish, seafood, lighter dishes, creamy assortas, those bread soups. Reds work beautifully with heartier stuff, feijoadas, bean stews, grilled meats, game, even richer fish dishes. And the rosés are super versatile salads, light pasta, even some Asian-inspired food.
Any specific local pairings that really sing?
Definitely. Engia eel is a local thing, and the bright acidity of a good Tejo white cuts through it perfectly.
Interesting.
A traditional lamb stew, fantastic with a medium-bodied Tejo red. And the local cheeses offer a great chance to explore different wine styles from the region.
Those sound delicious.
Yeah.
For our listeners wanting to explore Tejo wines, any practical tasting tips?
Sure, temperature is key. Chill whites and rosés, well, maybe a slight chill on lighter reds.
Yeah.
And serves structured reds just below room temp. Glassware matters too. The right shape helps the aromas. Take a moment to look at the color, the clarity, swirl it, and really try to identify aromas, fruit, floral dots by earth. On the palate, notice the acidity, the tannins and reds, the body, the balance, and how long the flavor lasts the finish. Don't be afraid to try different styles, different subregions. You often find amazing value in Tejo wines.
Good point on value.
And if you ever get the chance, visiting the wineries themselves, that really deepens your appreciation.
Excellent advice. Now, who are some of the key players, the estates shaping the Tejo scene? Any emblematic producers we should know?
Yeah, several stand out. Quinta de la Guelva de Chima has history back to the 19th century. They blend tradition and innovation really well. Diverse estate, elegant, age-worthy wines. Their La Guelva de Chima Tinto, their Chardonnay, single varietals too. Their philosophy is all about terroir and sustainability.
Quinta de la Guelva, legacy, quality, sustainability. Who else?
Compañía de Slazerias is another big name. They operate on a larger scale, also with a long history. They managed to balance that scale with a real commitment to quality.
How so?
Focus on indigenous grapes, innovation, sustainability, to look at their Tejo organic range, a diverse portfolio.
Compañía de Slazerias, scale and commitment. Any other established names?
Casal Branco, a distinguished family estate, long tradition, consistent quality. They're focused on expressing their specific terroir, dedicated to indigenous grapes. Check out their Falquaria range, for example. Lots of different varietals and blends.
There's some strong historical pillars there. What about newer producers making waves?
Well, Quinta de Lapa has history, but they've recently really sharpened their focus on top-quality, terroir-driven wines.
Okay.
Emphasis on indigenous grapes, modern techniques. They're getting known for elegant, complex wines, single varietals like Touriga Nacional, Syrah, premium blends, often with a minimal intervention approach in the winery.
Quinta de Lapa, recent quality drive, hands-off approach. Any other emerging names?
And Costas de Shira is a newer project, quickly gaining attention for quality and focus on the Bucelas terroir that's a historical subregion. They really champion the Irento grape, making fresh, elegant whites with distinct minerality.
Sounds like a really dynamic mix. Established expertise, exciting new energy. What about experiencing it firsthand?
Oh,
What's the wine tourism, the enotourism scene like?
it's really blossoming, the enotourism potential in Tejo. You find diverse routes and experiences,
Like what?
guided tours of historic vineyards, exploring the Charnica landscape, maybe even on horseback, wine-focused trips. The experiences vary too. Winery tours, tastings, food pairings, blending workshops, picnics, even boat trips on the Tejo River.
Wow.
Many estates offer accommodation too for a proper immersive experience.
Mhm.
Plus, you've got great attractions nearby Amarol Castle, the Convento de Contristo in Tomar, historic towns like Santarem. Lots of culture and natural beauty alongside the wine.
Sounds like a really compelling trip for wine lovers. What role does all this wine activity play in the region's broader development?
Playing an increasingly vital role, actually. Wine production, enotourism.
Mm.
They create jobs, generate revenue, help preserve cultural traditions, and the landscape itself.
Mm.
Supports local communities, boosts related industries. It's a positive cycle, really, fostering economic and social sustainability.
That's great to hear. Looking ahead, what are the main challenges and opportunities for Tejo's wine industry?
Well, a big challenge, like for many regions, is climate change. Rising temperatures, unpredictable rain, extreme weather. It affects the vine cycle, grape quality, water
Great
resources.
adaptation is key.
Absolutely. Optimizing irrigation, choosing resilient grapes, focusing on soil health. It's crucial.
Yeah.
Another challenge is market competition. Intense, both within Portugal, from Douro, Alentejo, and globally.
Right.
So Teo needs to keep strengthening its unique identity, ensuring quality, using innovative marketing.
Those are definitely major factors. What about the outlook, future trends, perspectives for Tejo?
The future looks really promising, I think. There's growing momentum towards sustainability, organic, biodynamic practices. An exciting focus on exploring the potential of those indigenous grapes, plus innovation in winemaking. And leveraging enotourism is going to be huge for growth and visibility.
So really building on their strengths.
Exactly. And a concerted effort to value and promote Tejo's rich wine heritage nationally and internationally, that's key for ongoing success.
So to wrap up our deep dive, what are the essential takeaways for our listeners about the Tejo region?
I'd say the Tejo region offers this really compelling story.
Hmm.
You've got ancient history, incredibly diverse terroir shaped by that amazing river, a rich mix of unique local grapes and international ones, and this vibrant wine scene that balances tradition and innovation skillfully.
Yeah.
From refreshing whites to structured reds, plus the growing appeal of visiting. Tejo presents a unique, evolving wine experience that's definitely worth discovering.
We really hope this deep dive has given you a good, solid understanding of the Tejo, maybe some aha moments,
Yeah.
and sparked your curiosity to perhaps track down a bottle or even plan a visit yourself.
And maybe a final thought to leave you with. Considering Tejo's deep history and how it's actively adapting now, how might this region's special relationship with its river and land shape the future of Portuguese wine overall? What undiscovered gems might still be waiting to emerge from this really dynamic terroir?